What is going on, everybody? This is Genoxide on... Oh, that's a podcast. This is a new podcast happening, and today I am Genoxide, as I usually say it. Tomorrow is going to be Fire Emblem 237, Matt the Chozo, and Delvast.
Wait.
Tomorrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is this podcast just starring you?
Yeah, the podcast is just
fucking hell.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys are just extras. I'm
Dang,
the
I
host.
can't believe I got excluded that quickly.
Yeah, you should have...
I'll see you guys tomorrow then.
Okay, yeah, see you guys. Goodbye.
Wait, hold on. I didn't say tomorrow. I meant today, tomorrow.
So the day after the day of tomorrow, today.
Yes.
The day after yesterday.
Today is the
Yesterday's
one.
tomorrow, meaning today.
Yes.
It's finally Friday.
It's really not a Friday.
TGIF.
Yeah.
Yes, finally here.
So yeah, in
Except
all
it's fucking
seriousness,
Sunday.
I am here for a podcast. So I guess we're
Only
gonna
you.
do some questions or some stuff. Anyway, we'll get to the important topics first. So recently, the new Nintendo Switch has been out.
Fuck yeah, boy.
I
do
went to
not
the
have
launch
one.
party. I thought
Only
it was amazing.
one person has it. Oh well. Only one person in this group has it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, me.
It's you.
What up, fellas?
I wasn't gonna pay $500 for a console. I just went to the party because it was a party. I don't usually.
You were at
have-
the launch party?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what was it like?
Damn, dude.
Launch party was stinky for one.
Where do you?
What do you mean?
Where do you live? Where do you live? Where it's $500?
Well, on average, not $500, $300, but then there's plus everything,
Oh,
the
yeah.
game, the controller if you want it, along with some other
Okay.
stuff. The console.
So you're in
itself is
America too,
300
right?
Flat rate. 300.
You're in America too, right?
I'm in America, yeah. I'm not in Brazil
Okay, so
getting my coins robbed because I'm trying to get a console.
Yeah.
Have you heard
No. It's we have 2 Americans and 2 Canadians in this podcast. All right.
David and I are the Canadians,
Yeah.
And then we're the Americans. We're
also known as the ones that experience the inflation.
Yes.
Well, me and Matthew are getting it next week, though.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we can get it next week.
Well,
I mean,
hopefully next week, yeah.
yeah, this week I tried to look for it because I'm one of those people who did not pre-order it. So
Yeah,
I
hopefully
desperately
I'm-
looked through every retailer and they did
I
not
just
have it.
completely forgot that it was coming out last Friday.
Yeah, for me, I'm honestly thinking about getting the new Nintendo 64 because it comes with some pretty
Oh,
decent
yeah.
features.
Yeah, man, and the cartridges don't taste like bitterant.
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you actually tasted the cartridges for the Nintendo 64?
I no, I've tasted the cartridge for the Nintendo
Okay,
Switch.
have you tasted any cartridge in general?
We don't talk about that. So,
Oh yeah, the forbidden ones. How could I?
Okay,
miss
but
it?
anyway, yeah, as they were referring to, there was just one person on Twitter, I don't remember who, that was like, dude, the Nintendo Switch cartridges taste awful, and everybody was like, what the fuck, why? So everybody was asking Nintendo about it, and Nintendo confirmed that they actually put a bittering agent on the Nintendo Switch cartridges to keep kids from eating it. So everybody, including myself, tried the Nintendo Switch cartridge when they got it. They put it in their mouth, and I can confirm that it tastes like fucking cough syrup that's expired and gone flat.
And I am glad
And
that
it
you
spreads-
confirmed that, so that I or anyone in this podcast will not have to do that.
But you
And
may anyway
also-
because curiosity.
And
Yeah.
also, I have confirmed that if I am ever getting a Switch, I'm not getting used games.
Oh, why is that?
Oh, because it's probably been licked.
Yes. I don't know if you
already
have a
licked the
fetish for licking
cartridge.
other people's lick cartridges, but if you can go ahead and try it,
Yeah,
yeah.
Well,
it's all up to
So,
taste.
anyway. Yeah, I have the Nintendo Switch and humble brag, but no, it's really really cool. The screen is stellar. Like it doesn't feel like it's a mobile console, but it is.
Is it better than the gamepad for the Wii U?
Absolutely.
Ah.
Yeah. No joke.
Yeah.
The screen is the exact same size, but the resolution is 720p, and you actually have to check it out for yourself to
Because like
really
with the gamepad,
see the
like
difference.
the gamepad, it didn't look too bad, but in some colors, like for red, it looks really blurry on the gamepad screen.
Yeah, no. It feels like the games were made with handheld mode in mind first,
Yeah.
and then upscaled to the dock to make it look even better on the TV, but still it looks amazing on the gamepad.
I even heard that Breath of the Wild plays better in handheld than in docked.
Yeah. Like when you're on the TV, like when it's got a combination of like a couple things, like when it's got like a sunset and it's raining and there's a lot of grass and there's a lot of water, it'll lag, but it's never really too horrible, I think. But I've never experienced any lag at all when I'm in handheld mode.
Well,
so
we just have to wait until Fallout 3 finally gets on the Switch.
The biggest, emptiest game, will that possibly lag? It will, because Bethesda is making it.
yeah, fuck's sake. Okay, so I have a friend who, sorry, I'm kind of just totally stealing the spotlight here, but I have a friend who was like, oh, you should play Fallout, it's amazing, it's the best game I've ever played. And I started it, and like 3, that is, and I started it and I really liked the in the vault stuff, and then I left the vault, wandered around for 10 hours, found absolutely fucking nothing. Right? Yeah, wandered around, found absolutely fucking nothing, and shut it off. Got really bored, and I told him, and he's like, "You only gave it." I have
a good friend. Shout outs to Rom, who is a huge Bethesda, not even Fallout, but Bethesda, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Fallout fan, and like even we kind of talk about the emptiness of Fallout and how that's kind of a big issue and how there's kind of nothing, but there's like parts of it where it is, you know, it is kind of cool. You're actually doing things, and like there is like a bit of role playing, like good stuff in there. If you really want to, it's one of those games you really got to get yourself into. You can't just really pick it up.
Is Skyrim good?
It's alright.
I've played the beginning and I liked it.
Depends on what you're looking for, really.
Skyrim is coming to the Switch, and I'm considering picking it up and having that be my first experience with it.
Come on, Nintendo.
I'd rather not. Like, you could probably... If you have a decent PC, I don't think you would really need to get one on the Switch. Unless you want to bring it portable.
Does that version have mods? The Skyrim remaster? Because I know remastered, it gives mods for the console versions too, so I would think the Switch has that.
Yeah, it basically like ups the graphics and gives all the DLC and stuff like that. I don't know about mods. I know the PS4 has accessibility. Not like most of the consoles have some sort of access to mods.
Back to sorry, but I'm gonna throw it back to Breath of the Wild because there was one more thing I wanted to say about that. In Breath of the Wild, I've been doing pretty much nothing but that nonstop, that eating and sleeping the past 3 days, and I've only gone through one dungeon, like one proper dungeon, but I found a ton of mini dungeons, and I've never stumbled across an area where there's nothing. There's always something to fight, something to do. I've never felt lost or bored the entire time.
Just like Minecraft.
Like Minecraft.
It's absolutely stellar, yeah.
Like my biggest concern with Zelda, because I never looked too much into it, like the first time I saw Breath of the Wild, besides like the Zelda U teaser thing that they showed, where it's like, oh, see those mountains, you can go there. I thought that was cool, but then when I actually saw a thing for Breath of the Wild, it looked pretty empty at first, and I was thinking, oh no, is it really going to be like that? So then I kind of avoided it for a while, and then it's only now because I just got into the Switch hype because of David. Like David, him and I also figured, oh yeah, the Switch is coming out soon, and then I kind of got hyped, and then I looked into Zelda, and then I saw the cool distraction things that you can do around, like it's not just empty. Like that's my biggest concern with open worlds sometimes.
You can climb. Like your only limits in the entire, you can climb up everything you see. Your only limits are the world borders. Actually, I don't even know if that's a thing because I haven't gone all the way to the edge yet. But your only limits are your stamina and if it's raining.
If it's raining.
But like when it's raining, like climbing walls is tougher and he slips down and whatnot. But you like if there's a tree in front of you, you can climb it and then glide to a mountain and climb up that mountain, and just you can go anywhere you see and climb up any surface. It's incredible.
That's amazing.
And one more thing I want to praise Breath of the Wild on is the fact that the amount of detail and the amount of things they considered when making the game is insane. Like, so there was like I ran into like a camp of bokoblins and I killed all of them except one, and then I was like running away from one to get some distance, but he was keeping up behind me. So I used a bomb and I was holding the bomb above me, and my plan was to drop it and blow it up when I was just far enough away so it would hit him. But when I dropped it, he kicked it at
back
me.
at you.
Yeah, and I blew up myself. This game, just the amount of detail is nuts, and you can play the game stealthily and like sneak up behind enemies and kill them with backstrikes. And
I honestly wasn't expecting the stealth thing.
A stealth mechanic at all, right?
And this isn't really a spoiler, but like early on you can buy like a Sheikah outfit and it ups your stealth, and there are heavy weapons, and there's so many different play styles you can play, and it's really bizarre because the game doesn't really entirely feel like a Zelda game, but when you compare it to the others, it doesn't feel like it's so far removed.
Yeah, it kind of has like those elements of it, but I can tell that it takes a lot more from other open world stuff, like the climbing up to get a view of the map thing. Like that's an Ubisoft thing in like Assassin's Creed and whatever.
Yeah.
I would just think that it takes the best things of all open worlds and just doesn't do the things that make them boring.
Oh, might I also mention that there's witch time in the combat?
What?
If you like, there's dodging, and if you dodge at the last minute, you can get off a flurry of attacks in slow motion.
Yo, what?
There's legitimate fucking witch time in Zelda.
The Zelda character. Oh no. This is the Zelda character action that I wanted.
The last thing I want to say on Breath of the Wild is that I'm not a massive Zelda fan, and in fact, I only like really got into like my first big Zelda kick in like the past year or so. So I'm not like a massive Zelda fan, but I must say that this is one of the most finely crafted games I've ever played.
So Breath of the Wild is like one of the only ones that you've really played?
No, I've played all the 3D games except Skyward Sword. And
you haven't played Skyward?
Did you play Twilight Princess?
I played Twilight Princess for my first time like a couple months ago. I played it on HD, and it was my favorite. It was my favorite, but then Breath of the Wild happened.
Yeah, personally, like out of all the Zeldas, for me, it's Twilight Princess until I get my hands on Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was Wind Waker. I really like that one.
I've still yet to play Wind Waker, actually.
Jinx, I don't remember what you called yourself. Are you a big Zelda guy? You haven't been talking much so far.
I was just actually going to be doing most of the questions, and you guys talk amongst yourselves, because Nintendo-wise, okay. I'm not fluent. I'm more, even though like Zelda has been in my life, I haven't been necessarily entailed with Nintendo. I'm more of like I don't have a preference towards company. So of course I'm going to be playing either something with a story or something that I'm just interested in. And
sure.
When it comes to me, I have like behind me I have a PS2, 3, 4, and then I have a new 3DS, Wii U, and Switch. And I have a gaming PC. Mm-hmm. So like whenever I come across somebody with an Xbox, like they ask, "Do you have an Xbox?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude." And I always kind of play it off like I fucking hate Xbox, which I don't. I just don't care about Halo, Gears of War, or Forza.
I remember someone was in the middle of the lineup for the Switch because it was a midnight release, but the reason he lined up was because he wanted an Xbox One with a copy of Rare Replay. Because the only game he wanted for that was Rare Replay, so he could play Conker and Banjo-Kazooie. So then when he finally got it, the guy at the cashier was like, "Really? You lined up for that? You could have came in the other day." And he was like, "No, I needed this, man. I needed this."
Yeah.
I also needed to piss people off.
Oh,
a lot more
I know.
Than I should.
I know a guy who he had pre-ordered The Last Guardian when it was first announced, like what was it, like 10 years ago? And GameStop was keeping his pre-order. Like they kept trying to persuade him to get rid of it and get his money back, but he was like, "Nah, I have faith that it'll come out someday." And the day that it was canceled, he kept it going. And then when it was revealed for the PS4, like it was a year or two ago, he came into the GameStop and he was like, "I fucking told you!" So
I knew it would come.
Yeah, he had tears in his eyes and crap. That's what the like GameStop.
That feels bad.
So
I mean, feels good though, but
feels good, but in a
Feels
bad
bad
way.
for GameStop that they were trying to make him waste his money. So, but yeah,
Dude.
other than that, with the Switch,
Any other questions?
no, I was actually going to get to some more questions. I just wanted you guys to talk amongst yourselves. So, I'm more or less, when it comes to consoles, I don't get into hype. I usually just see it for what it is. And Nintendo's always known for, if they're trying to come out with something revolutionary, they'll have its own little hub of games in order for you to try it. Now, for the Switch, its hub was 1-2 Switch, along with other games that are going to be coming out that'll be centric around it, such as ARMS. I'm guessing Bomberman is going to be more interactive, but I don't really see it as that. And so,
there was Snipper Clips as well.
if you want them cutie games, yeah.
But like there was a demo on the eShop, and my friend and I were waiting for another friend because we were all going to start Breath of the Wild together, or they were going to watch me start Breath of the Wild basically, and my friend and I were waiting, so we were like, I was like, you want to play the Snipper Clips demo? And he's like, what the fuck is Snipper Clips? So we went into it, and I was just thinking like, this will be a fun waste of time, but it was actually really, really fun. Like we felt like fucking people in a commercial. Like we high fived after puzzles and shit.
People that like smile a lot.
Like yeah, but legitimately, like this game, like it made me feel like this childlike sense of wanting to work together to solve the problem, and
it looks really cute.
Yeah, but like playing it yourself with a friend and trying to cut the shapes out of each other and figure this shit out, it was actually really fun, and it's only $20, so I might actually pick it up.
Was
for
it
the
developed by Nintendo?
Yeah, it's a Nintendo IP, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought it was an indie for a second. Because usually
No, I
they
don't
don't
think
really
so.
highlight indies unless they're in that showcase that they did.
so
The only games on the eShop are Super Bomberman, Shovel Knight, Treasure Trove, Breath of the Wild, and then some other stuff. There was Snipper Clips.
I was kind of
and then some other
hyped
things.
for Super Bomberman R because I played a lot of Bomberman back then, but I see it now, like, because like I've only ever seen like the cover art and like the cartoony stuff of it, but when you actually see like the graphics of Super Bomberman R, it looks really, really, I don't know how to say it. It kind of looks
Mighty Number 9.
outdated, yeah. To put it like that. It just looks very I kind of wish they just kept it like a 2D game, like how the actual like concept art and like the cutscenes look like. It has like a cool 2D like cartoony bounce, and it looks nice, but when you actually see the game, it's like 3D Unity models or something, and it just does not look appealing. The shadows are bad
Bomberman's
too.
Konami, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. No, I'm kidding.
Actually, I don't think Konami made it. It was some other developer, because I think Konami nowadays, they just publish stuff. They don't really make games anymore.
Oh, another cool thing is that Shovel Knight. My roommate and I were sitting down. We were going to record a co-op Let's Play of Shovel Knight on the Wii U, and that day, it was announced for the Switch, and we were like, "Well, fuck, we're gonna wait."
We're waiting
so,
for the Switch.
and then like halfway through, I realized, wait a minute, there might not be co-op on it. But no, they're actually bringing co-op. They're being really cool about this. They're bringing the what is it, Spade of Justice or whatever, Shovel Knight's new co-op name or campaign name.
Spectre.
No, Shovel Knight got his own name. His campaign got a new name, but
Treasure Trove.
for the Shovel Knight campaign, they are actually bringing multiplayer and an update to all consoles, and now the only Amiibo exclusive thing is the custom Knight stuff.
Yeah, because co-op came with the Amiibo for Shovel Knight, right?
Yeah.
Originally, yeah.
Even as of now, it's Wii U exclusive, or I guess not now, because now the Switch is out. But
now it's going to come to like everything else. Okay, actually, co-op works even better for the Switch because you can play multiplayer with literally anywhere with it.
Yep.
That's the one thing I like about the Switch, because I have friends who aren't arsed enough to come to my house because I'm really far away. so I can just literally bring it and then just say, hey, want to play Mario Kart? Hell yeah, I can play Mario Kart now while we're not listening to lectures.
Or while you're listening to lectures.
Or that.
Or just sit in front of the class and be like, yeah, we're not lecturing today.
I was at the back of the class one time because I wasn't paying attention and I was playing Fire Emblem Heroes. I didn't know that I had my volume up at max. Yeah, that's what happened because the intro, and then like it was silent. It was a silent class, and then you just hear Fire Emblem Heroes like from the back of the class, and then I had to like cover my speakers with my thumb as much as I could.
Oh fuck's sake! I've had that happen.
I was actually gonna move on from this. Sorry, but I just want to before you guys were talking, I was actually gonna reiterate what I was going to say. So other than 1-2 Switch and whatnot, do you honestly think with what Nintendo's doing, because they've done this with Wii, they've done this with 3DS if I last remember, they always have some sort of feature so you could test out the main capabilities of it. Do you honestly think that people will play it after the whole Switch hype is done? Or do you think it'll just have another Wii where it's like, oh, it was cool when it first came out, but now I'm bored?
I think the Switch will get a big enough. The problem with the Wii U was, I love the Wii U, but the problem with the Wii U is that it was marketed horribly because everybody thought that it was just a gamepad, like a tablet attachment to the Wii. And the fact that it didn't have anything upon launch other than Nintendo Land, but everybody was hyped for Zelda. And the launch game isn't like Wii Sports.
We're talking about 1-2 Switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1-2 Switch, I
would care
I feel like
about
they should have bundled it
if it was a pack-in title.
Yeah, but there is no pack-in title for the Switch, which is a little bit iffy, I think.
You have to buy like all the games that
you have to buy games for your video game console now?
Well, you'd expect at least some sort of tech demo to come with it. At least,
but
so.
well, at least with Nintendo, because that's what they've been doing for the past like few consoles.
Right now, if you just buy the Switch, the only thing you can play on it is the Snipper Clips demo, and that's it. But yeah, 1-2 Switch, I don't think anybody's gonna really buy it. It's $50 for a game that looks just so
mediocre.
Meh.
If it was like a lower budget price, like maybe $10, I would definitely get it.
20 at max.
20 at max, I would say.
But 1-2 Twitch definitely should have been a pack-in title, I think.
I really
see
think so.
With the whole thing about like, the whole thing I'm seeing from like Nintendo Switch itself is that it's mainly marketing towards the features instead of the game itself also. Remember when there was the whole Switch presentation, they were mainly talking about what you can do with the Switch. And one of them caught my eye was when they said that with the Switch, you can have the feeling of ice in a glass if you shake
the
it.
HD Rumble.
The HD Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
This is the type of stuff that usually like they want you to get involved with, but it seemed like it wasn't marketing towards a game system, which is kind of like what kind of caught me off guard.
More just its capabilities.
Yeah.
See,
So,
the thing
I don't know.
The thing with HD Rumble is that I kind of considered it to be like a side thing, like a thing that would be optimized with games. Like, I thought that would be fine. But when, in the Switch presentation, when they mentioned the idea of motion controls coming back again, that was a bit concerning because that kind of seems like a thing that they just tacked on.
Yeah, well, I think it's like... there's obviously a parallel between the Joy-Cons and the Wiimote and Nunchuck, but they're basically just an improved Wiimote and Nunchuck. I think that what they meant to say, was, hey, we're not ditching the motion control thing, so maybe we could in the future have Wii Virtual Console games on here. And
if that's the implication, then like I totally don't mind that. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Anyway, but back to your question about like, do you think this is just going to be a fad console like the Wii was at first?
Yeah.
The difference is, I think that like not all games on the Wii took the motion control thing into account, but with the Switch, the handheld for most games, the handheld mode and the on TV mode, which is its main purpose, is something that the console does aside from what the developers of the game make.
Yeah, like as in the games aren't generally based on going
It
to
doesn't
portable
have to be
mode or
focused
home
on
mode.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has more versatility.
Yeah.
The games aren't designed around the gimmick. The gimmick is for all games, is the difference, I think.
Actually, what I like about the lineup is that it's just actual games, and well, aside from 1-2 Switch, I mean, they're like actual games
and not tech demos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think Breath of the Wild is the best possible thing they could have done to lead this fucking thing forward. Especially with the reviews it's been getting. Good God.
It is the best reviewed game of all time.
I honestly thought Metal Gear Solid 5 was going to take that out of the water, but
I mean,
well, then again, it was more or less.
Gear's,
I feel like the reviews were more or less like motivated towards this. It was going to be officially Hideo Kojima's last game because of how much people have finally saw how Konami and Kojima were like having.
They wanted to build up the big hurrah for it.
And seeing as like Breath of the Wild, I feel like it deserves it. I honestly do think that this is a game that may also have to have time taken into consideration. Usually with
especially
game reviews,
for an open world game.
Usually with game reviews, it's always about what's at the beginning and what's at the middle. They don't want to complete the end because they'll save it for later. They just want to know, corely, are the mechanics sound, and is the game like eye-catching right now?
Yeah. Matt, you asked on. We can kind of swing this conversation a little bit of a different way here, if you don't mind. Matt, on Twitter, you asked about like. I think I was the only one who replied, but
no, a couple people
you asked
did.
about,
I basically asked people what their opinions on review scores are, because I always see this happen. Like with a big game that's coming out, there's always like a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 or a 9.8 or a 9.75
or too much water
some quantifiable number or points just to sum up the game.
I think game reviews are held, and this was my reply to that tweet. And I basically made a video tweet saying that I think that game reviews are fine, but I think that you should just not look at them. And if a game interests you based on the trailer, go for it.
That's what I think exactly too.
Basically, you aren't the people that are reviewing it. The people that are reviewing it are also people like you are, who had different childhoods, so they like different things than you do. So whenever I hear anybody say, why did you buy that game? The reviews are terrible for it. Like, I have a friend who really enjoys No Man's Sky and is still loving No Man's Sky to this day. So it's all up to personal preference. You can't just base like whether or not.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were filled with shit taste in this call.
I know, eh?
Oh yeah. I didn't say I like No Man's Sky. I fucking hate it, but
no, I meant
my friend does.
Matt
Who
is
here
like
plays Dying Light?
100% of this 100% call of shit taste.
Who here plays Dying Light, eh?
Well, I'm a firm believer that 06 and Boom are like the only two bad big Sonic games. So I mean, there's that.
06 is never talked about and is believed to be never to be created from anybody who is known about the Sonic genre.
Boom, Rise of Lyric.
I like the controls.
So here's yeah, I like the controls in Boom, but everything else is awful. But it's not awful. It's not awful. It's mediocre, and the game just feels unfinished. It feels like I'm playing an alpha of an indie game. Like, it's but
the cartoon is
like,
A-okay.
Yeah, the cartoon's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever? Okay, so do you guys ever have this this feeling? Like, here's an example of the feeling I'm trying to convey. Like, okay, so Sonic Heroes and Sonic 06. I think Sonic Heroes is a good game, and I think Sonic 06 is a bad game. But I like Sonic 06 more than I like Sonic Heroes. Do you guys understand that?
Yeah, I get it in a sense that you have more to say about 06 than Heroes, probably.
I enjoy sitting down and playing 06 far more than I enjoy playing Heroes, even though I think Heroes is the better game.
Yeah, like, of course. There's different, when it comes to games, it's not more or less about the whole mechanic wise. It's more or less about, it's usually when people talk about the game, it's more or less centered around mechanics and not overall things like art direction or general
exactly.
or general like activity. They only just care about what they can do in the game.
Whenever I finish a game on my channel, like I have this thing that I've been going on for a while now, and I rate it on like my 5 points of gaming, like the 5 things that are equal in my opinion. And as long as one isn't distracting, the game is by no means bad. I'm very forgiving when it comes to games, but like the 5 points of gaming for me are gameplay, art direction, not graphics, art direction, music, atmosphere, which can be omitted for some games, and
kind of depends.
What was the last one? Story.
I was gonna say voice acting, but most games.
Voice acting
Again,
most
that
games don't have
also
voice
kind of
acting.
depends.
Yeah.
Speaking of, full circle, Breath of the Wild is voice acted for some cutscenes.
Wait, does Link talk?
No.
It's mostly narrative though.
It's also like the narration, right? Like the narrator, and then like maybe some side characters talk.
Zelda herself speaks.
Well, that was already said in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zelda herself speaks, and like, so most of the game, anything that isn't like a big cutscene is done in typical Zelda style, where they speak a language that you can't understand, and like it's usually reserved to "wow" from Beetle, or like "hey," that kind of thing from the characters when you talk to them, and it's text all the way through. But they only have voice acting when it's really important, and it brings out the cutscenes even better in the story. So it's not like fully voice acted, and it's not as voice acted as you might think it would be. But
I got the
it's a step in the right
that
direction.
The entire thing was fully voiced.
Well, sort of spoiler, not really spoilers,
Sort-of-ish.
But you're not viewing the game as it, like, you're not viewing, like, so far for me, I haven't been viewing the plot as it happens. Everything that's voice acted is a flashback so far.
Yeah.
For me. So it's, I don't know.
Voices.
It's fine the way it is.
So far, for me, it's for games itself. I personally do not care. I personally, for the game, for me, like on my channel, I only play games that I'm interested in. If I show any sort of boredom in my playthroughs, I just straight up delete it. Like, I don't want anybody else to see it. If I don't have fun with the game, or if I didn't look like I was having fun with the game, I would either re-record it, or I would just not even show it anymore. Like, there are some times where I'll be like, yeah, I'm playing this game. I played it, and then I just deleted it. Just because.
Yeah, I also have that kind of mentality too. Like for me, I can enjoy like even probably the worst thing, or like the worst game, as long as there's like something kind of redeemable about it, or just
as long as it isn't
Mighty
boring.
as long as it's
Number
not boring. Yeah, that's why I kind of enjoy Mighty Number 9, even though it's kind of dog shit. I still really like playing it.
Well, it's the game, the Mighty Number 9. The game itself isn't a bad game. It's just that with what it was supposed to be, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's not.
It was too hyped. Like, the main reation why Matthew plays it is to get S ranks.
Duke Nukem forever,
one
man.
Of those S
like,
ranks, yeah.
But yeah, I'm also a Let's Player. Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Rate, comment, subscribe.
Hello.
I've been Let's Playing for the past 7 years now, on and off. And yeah, I have a lot of deleted Let's Plays that just never came to the light because I felt like I didn't have enough to talk about. And yeah, if a game bores me, it's not worth my time, I think. Like, going back to my Fallout 3 story, I wandered around for 10 hours and found absolutely nothing and then quit. And then my friend was like, "You only tried it for 10 hours?" And I'm like, dude, that's
Only
10 hours
10
and it didn't
hours?
grasp me.
That's still that's still a reasonable amount of time.
That's a very reasonable amount of time.
10 hours.
That's just...
You see, if you waited until 11, you would have found something.
Now the 11th hour, that's when
you would have
magic
found the
happens.
best gun in the game.
Man, you stopped right before the game picked up. You know,
Well, that's another thing. Is that like most RPGs suffer from this? Is that like if the player does not find anything, especially open world RPGs, if the player does not find something in a certain amount of time, the game already sucks. Like regardless of how redeemable it is at the beginning, if you can't find something to keep you going, how are you going to expect yourself to keep playing?
the first 5 hours are the most important part of open world games. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you can engage them and overstimulate them for the first 5 hours, then when they come back to it the next time, they'll be searching for those smaller things.
That's why I
kind of got fatigued over Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, it starts out so promising, but then once you start getting into it, there's this
It takes
really
a long
slow
time
portion.
before you actually get like the robot that's like advertised everywhere. It's kind of like why I wanted to play it in the first place, but it takes so much like grinding and just in general just a long time before you actually do get to that point.
And even then, it's super high maintenance, but that's another issue.
Yeah.
And you see,
but
this is the reason why I usually talk about Minecraft as far as open world, regardless of how much the meme value is. In the end, the main goal at Minecraft is to just build a house, and that's what people stimulate for. Like, I can't stay out here at night. Or they'll probably dig a hole and then they'll wait out the night. That's how usually people that's how they got most of their like fan base to stimulate themselves, and then later on they found the creativity, this, that, and the other junk.
Minecraft is so uncomparable to anything else, I think. Like, even Terraria I would consider a game, but Minecraft I barely consider a game. I consider it to be a tool more than anything.
I even know friends who like code and mod with Minecraft as like a job. It's really more like a developer's kit kind of thing.
A group that I'm in still plays Minecraft.
And Minecraft is... For adults will generally get bored of it relatively quickly, but for kids, like I have a little 8-year-old brother, and he just goes nuts with Minecraft all the time. It just never stops, and his mind is just so free there. It's basically legitimately a blank canvas in 3D is what it is. Minecraft is absolutely stellar, even if I don't enjoy playing it anymore as much.
Yeah. It's well, then again, we start to find other games. Remember, this was around the time of us being kids. Well, me being a kid. Well, when did Minecraft come out? Around 2000?
I was a very, very young kid in that case.
I was just starting... I was actually ending middle school, starting high school when it came out. And I think that was that was like a time where people knew, but then people also didn't know. Like, for me, it had meme value to it. So, of course, like, people were just like, yeah, you get to play a game with blocks, just like Roblox. And then suddenly you get this whole, like...
Oh, Roblox.
Dude, I played it for a good amount of time by myself.
So, that's something... That's something that I always praise a game when it can manage to capture, or even an anime. Like, right now I'm watching One Piece, and it kind of captures that.
You should use it. Oh, no, never mind.
But One Piece, is that what you were gonna say?
Yep.
Yeah. I am using it anyway. When you're a little kid and you're playing a video game, like you have such a little grasp on the world, and you don't look for things like, oh, this plays really well, or oh, I really like this character.
You don't really think of the
like
technical stuff.
You see a cave and you think, oh my god, there could be anything in there.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't know what's coming next. And any game that... Breath of the Wild does do this for me as well. Any game that captures that, wow, what could happen next? I'm having too much fun to care, but please show me something cool again, basically. And One Piece is doing that for me right now as well, as far as anime go.
Yeah, in terms of in terms of media, it's just like not even for just games, but even like anime or just anything. My two favorite things are if it has a good style and if it has a good mystery, because you kind of have to. It kind of makes you curious because it gives you a reason to like get interested or intrigued by it.
Play Danganronpa, Matthew. Danganronpa has a fucking stellar mystery, dude.
Yeah, I've
You'd love it.
gotten a lot of recommendations for that.
It's super good, dude. Trust me. But yeah, kind of a dead end in the conversation.
Well, I was
here.
actually gonna say the next question. So,
Oh, cool.
for Switch, there's also another thing about the Switch that most people tend to overlook, is the fact that third-party companies are actually joining along for the fight with Switch and trying to put their games out there.
Absolutely.
There's a whole lot of them.
Other than
Tons.
Other than Todd and whatever the fuck his Bethesda game.
Todd Howard?
shit. Yeah, whatever. I don't care about that pillar, man. So
Fucking Bethesda's on this thing. That's still weird.
So other than that, there's also another cult classic developer who is going to be along for here, and this is the developer for No More Heroes, which
Suda51 boy.
Suda51, honestly,
Yes.
without playing his game No More Heroes, it is. I have never felt so in love with a character.
I adore No More Heroes.
Travis
Did you
is
hear
my
that? Like
favorite character.
in the most recent. In like one of the most recent interviews with him, he's trying to push for Travis to be in Smash, and I'm like, yes,
Like he's been pestering
yes.
Sakurai.
If Bayonetta's in Smash Bros, fucking Travis should be, dude. I love No More Heroes. I adore it. And we're getting
Oh, I can't wait for one of his emotes to be him jacking off his freaking lightsaber, dude.
yeah,
it's oh god, No More Heroes is just so well written, and
the first game
So
especially.
yeah, the first game especially. The second game is more fun for the combat than it is for the
I only
the
really
plot.
played 2 for the combat,
Following,
but in
from-
general, I kind of think it's kind of unnecessary.
following from that
Mm-hmm.
sort of game itself, since now game developers are finally jumping on for the ride. Dragon Quest for that game is also going on to Switch. There's a bunch of others that I forget about. They had a
Bethesda's on
well,
Switch
we don't
now,
care about
and
Bethesda
that's
because
that's true.
Yeah.
I
So-
kinda.
we only care.
I don't at
We only
all.
care about him because Todd would actually looked like he was going to be in JoJo's Part 3. So
Fucking
That's why you go to Egypt, man.
Cave Stories coming to Switch.
well, that was
That's
already
gonna
a
be
given
cool.
because K-Story's been on a lot of
Yeah.
Nintendo consoles.
Only okay, 2.
Well,
I, guess.
I mean, a lot
forgot about
of
the
new
version.
gen.
indies in general are going to be on the Switch, which I'm really impressed by.
Because
Binding of Isaac's on it.
Cave-
Binding of Isaac,
yeah,
Snake
the-
Pass, Ukulele.
when I mean by a lot of Nintendo consoles, I meant like from Wii up, which was like there was Wii,
Yeah.
Wii U, 3DS had it, if I last remember, and now the Switch.
Cave Story wasn't on Wii U, but
Oh, it
yeah.
wasn't. Well, it was
Unless
definitely
you
on
count
Wii.
No.
the Wii Shop channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's
Actually,
on Wii by
that
extension
was their
that way.
that was one developer's excuse for not making a Wii U version of one of their games. I think it was for Retro City Rampage. They just said just get it on the Wii Shop channel. It's there.
I'm not sure how credible this is, but I heard that Toby Fox is wanting to bring Undertale to Switch as well.
It's possible. Most likely it'll happen.
Because like the whole reason he really wanted to bring it to the Wii U, but he didn't have a clue what the fuck to do with the second screen. So
Yeah.
the Switch totally eliminates that.
Yeah. So for that, I was thinking that if there's going to be a lot of indie developers and developers alike going to be on the Switch, what do you guys think would be a really great game or developer to be on the Switch that you would like to see?
Oh jeez.
It kind of depends because they have a good range at this point.
Yeah, a lot. Have you seen like the amount of people just like willing to work with the Switch or with Nintendo for the Switch?
Any-
Well, that should also help out with the
Any
question.
port-
Like,
I know.
Any-
Still.
Any port of the letter V 6 times is always good by me.
I would honestly just love to see Devolver Digital be on the Switch because of how
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of
a lot of
Devolver
their
stuff,
8-bit
yeah.
games.
Well,
Yeah.
also Downfall would be a definitely great game to have on the Switch. Like,
Hotline Miami, Downfall.
Is Fury technically a?
Oh dude, you know what would be cool on the Switch? You guys ever play Monaco?
yeah,
Yes.
I have played Monaco.
Monaco would be cool for the Switch. That'd be neat because of the online multiplayer stuff. Oh, also the Switch. We can talk about this fact that the Switch has an online paid subscription service
yeah,
now.
but it's
Why?
20
Yeah, that's
bucks.
coming. That's coming fall.
Yeah.
Why?
It's going to be fine because it's only $20 a year.
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
So
Oh, a year. That's
But
actually not
still,
that
for a
bad.
lot of people, they still don't like playing for online fees. Like, especially a lot of people said when they were on console that they moved on to computer because they did not want to pay for online. Well, then again, it was also very expensive. Still, at the same time,
Yeah, it's
nobody.
a different. We're talking about a different plan here.
Yeah,
there's something really dumb that they're doing with it though. They're kind of doing the PlayStation Plus thing with the free games every month, but with they're going to be giving you like a
Virtual
free
console games.
NES or Super Nintendo game, and then you have to give it back when the month's up.
yeah, which
What?
is actually gonna.
Yeah, you
fail
can't
in the
keep
end.
them. They're temporary for that month.
But then again,
That's
sort of.
But, like-
PlayStation also does this. Well, sorry, but PlayStation kind of does this where if you don't have online, if you don't have online and if you had PlayStation Plus, you can't get the game unless if you're logged in online.
yeah, but no, it's different because you don't get to keep with PlayStation Plus. You get to download the game and then keep the game because you had the game. But on the Switch, it's just an NES or a Super Nintendo game. Why can't you just give out an NES or a Super Nintendo game a month? You're losing like what, $5 or $7 of profit on games you made forever
Yeah.
ago. You know, it's kind of dumb that you don't just get to keep the game. You know,
I think for NES
I-
games, that's not too big of a deal because, I mean, if
So-
I'm being honest, a lot of NES games I don't find too replayable.
really though,
It takes up
like,
space
the only-
anyways. If, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Super Nintendo games, like, I think those ones are the ones that are probably deserving of you keeping them, especially if it's like stuff with save files and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the NES games, if it's not Earthbound Beginnings or
If it's not an
FF1,
RPG or an adventure game, if it's like an arcade or a platformer, then it's really not that big of a loss to not own it.
yeah, and
'Cause
it's
you can
it's
easily
like, it's
play
like
it in the month that they give it to you.
yeah, and it's like, oh, if you really want it after this month, then you can buy it
Yeah.
Or torrent.
for like $5.
or
$5.
even
It's,
torrent.
you know,
For me, honestly,
Or emulate.
for the whole from following back off for development reasons for Switch, I honestly think that any pixel game would be a good enough fit for Switch, just for this whole fact that having 3D games right now, like Breath of the Wild, is already receiving lag issues. So I would honestly think that a perfect fit would just be any pixel game because it doesn't take as much hardware as like anything that's
Any side scroller or platformer.
So, for
Which there are a
example,
lot of.
I would honestly think that they would put Terraria on the Switch or
probably it's everywhere else
There's a
right
good
now. It's even on the
chance. That is
3DS.
true.
It's even on the 3DS, dude. It's on more consoles than Minecraft is. I'm pretty
So,
sure.
like, it's already gonna have its own thing already. What else
Yeah.
is another one?
And I've actually played the 3DS version of Terraria, and it's actually more playable than like the standard console versions. It's not as playable as the PC version, but the 3DS version is probably the second best in my opinion.
Yeah, and let's see, what's another one?
What else would be super cool to have on the Switch?
No,
I can't really think of too many indie games.
I had in
that
time.
really
is
like
I
to
don't
see.
know if
Rain.
that's coming to the Switch.
Or Fez. Fez would be cool to
Oh
have on the
yeah,
Switch.
Fez would be a good one.
Super Meat Boy was on the Wii U.
Super
that was
Meat
super
Boy
cool
would
to see.
definitely be a great fit for the Switch, especially if they could try to like. Well, the controller wise, it'll be better. I was thinking that.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Castle Crashers with like on the go multiplayer.
that would work.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, anything.
Or Battle Block Theater. I want Battle Block Theater on the Switch.
I feel like someone would throw their shit.
Yeah. Some parent would be like, "Oh, why is my kid playing this game?" Actually, Battle Block Theater is not that out there.
No, it's not out there.
Actually.
It's just it depends on who you're playing with and how bad they are, I guess. And like,
Yeah.
it is a pretty hard game at times, especially if you're with someone that's not really cooperative.
If
Yeah,
we're talking co-op,
but-
20XX, the Mega Man X, the Mega
Oh,
Man kind of
yeah,
game,
that's
that would be a good
actually,
one.
That's
That'd be
actually
good.
a good
That'd be
choice,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, so as far as the Switch goes, a lot of people were mad that like Super Mario Odyssey is basically finished and it's not coming out till the holiday season, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is finished, and everybody's like, why didn't they release those right away? And I saw one tweet that put it perfectly. They said that I understand why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe wasn't released alongside Breath of the Wild, and it's because I bought every game at the beginning, like the Switch launch, and I haven't touched anything but Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, because really, you're in a launch, you're probably gonna get that one killer game that you want to play.
Yeah.
I guess the idea is that they want like they want a kind of selection that appeals a lot more, because in the end, yeah, having Zelda and Mario together at launch would be like a good kind of eye catcher for like the Switch when it launches. But I mean, realistically, you would stick to maybe one game. Like you would probably just stick to Breath, and you probably just stick to Mario, just like one of them.
And at least they have some. Like I saw so many people say, why does the Wii or why does the Switch have such a terrible? Why does the Switch have such a terrible lineup? You know, and I mean, like, have you seen? Oh, I don't know, every other system's launch title set ever.
That being said, I think they covered it pretty decently for this lineup. Like there's one of every bit of a genre. There's like an open world, there's the indies, like there's fast racing, that's a racing, Shovel Knight.
There's a gimmick game, there's Just Dance on it.
Platformer.
Just Dance.
There's Just Dance, there's the snipper clips, you got cutie games, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I think they covered the bases pretty well.
The only thing it's missing and that I was most excited for is Virtual Console. Because I love Virtual Console. I don't know why I love it so much, but I do.
I'm just hoping for a GameCube Virtual Console.
That's gotta fucking happen. That's absolutely gotta happen. Especially since it has 2 USB ports on the front. Give it that fucking Wii U GameCube adapter functionality, boy.
Yeah.
Get that going.
Now, here's another thing that I'm gonna say that'll possibly be the most Hail Mary attempt at like marketing that Nintendo's ever done. Seeing as every other console has gone through this thing as everybody else is doing, do you honestly think that the Nintendo Switch would be perfect for VR by any chance?
Nintendo.
Have you
Nintendo.
Okay, yeah, go.
Sorry.
Nintendo was asked about VR, and they said that they're looking into it, but it's by no means a priority. And I think they realize
that's for VR headsets in general.
I think
it's not really a priority to make it a big thing. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, like VR isn't. I don't think it's ready yet. And because it's not. It's only really around for hardcore gamers. It's not affordable for the family fun. You know, it's there for people that are really into that niche market. And
I mean, they're trying to integrate it like with games that you play like normally, like with Fallout. There's Fallout VR, there's Batman VR. They're trying to integrate it.
Resident Evil 7.
There's Resident Evil 7 too, but they're really just more of like optional things.
We need to wait a couple years for VR, in my opinion. I know this isn't on the.
I think it relies on more than just a headset and having a room to fit it in.
When VR is out, somebody needs to make a console centered around VR. You know, it can't just be a side attachment thing.
You can't just have Super Mario Odyssey and then just have a VR mode for it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
It would be cool
either way,
but it wouldn't be made for it.
When they were
it's exactly what
when they were having the PlayStation Pro, when they had the PlayStation and they had the Pro, but they made the Pro specifically for the VR because of how much more space VR games would take. But yeah, so for overall, I'm honestly thinking that Nintendo would have a pretty good job with how they're going to market the Switch. It'll definitely be way better than Wii U, but
oh, absolutely!
Yeah,
it's already.
I know a lot more about the Switch at its beginning stage than I did with the Wii U.
And they're setting it all up for success because I see all the differences they're making. They announced the Switch and they released the Switch at a time when there's no competition to really do it. Like what else is out right now? Horizon Zero Dawn. That's about it.
I only saw 2 streams for that.
And
Breath of the Wild had like over 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Horizon because I think that it might sort of get the Battleborn treatment.
It might be considered,
but
even though I did hear
it was supposed to be free, or
but I totally lost my train of thought. Damn it! But yeah. So, you guys want to call it a podcast there?
Nintendo Switch is
Yeah,
pretty
I
good,
guess
but
we can.
Nintendo, fix your
So,
stock. I need to get
thank you.
one.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
thank you all for watching the that's a podcast. And
You got the name right.
it's not a question. Damn it.
well, it is a question if this podcast
Alright,
was
start
already put
over.
in flames.
Start over.
Like,
Oh, I
I
see.
kind of thought this was like
do you want to
weird
do some plugs? You want to do some plugs?
plugs.
Plug our shit?
Well,
Like
What
say
do
what we
people
do.
do?
Personally, I'm good.
personally, I honestly think this podcast would change over time. Like next week, I was actually going to say this, but next week is going to be mainly an anime episode, which, of
Okay.
course, we're going to be talking about some recent developments in Gainax's business.
Oh no. Are we gonna go over this? Are we
This was
really
the first thing
gonna
we
Alright,
were going to
well,
do
anyway.
on podcasts wise.
No, please don't. Aw.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
overall,
cry
we're going to be
next
talking
week.
about. Yeah, next week is going to be the Tears episode, how
gonna
Gainax stole
cry.
Christmas, and how a lot of things about the anime industry. Hope you guys enjoyed this new podcasting. We're gonna try and keep it different, and we're gonna try and keep it fresh, new.
Check out our
Yeah.
channels. Links in
And Shadowcry will
description.
be here next week.
No, he ain't.
Oh shit.
Yes,
This
he is.
fucking guy.
Chelsea.
Nuh-uh. Not happening.
I put a down payment on his guest appearance. So thank you all for watching.
shit.
Oh, that's a podcast. I will see you guys later. See ya.
Bye.
Peace.